Hey everybody, I have a challenge for you guys today. Instructors, this is an amazing tool for you to use for your students to build situational awareness. And pilots, this is a great challenge for you to build your situational awareness. Now, the challenge is, I want you to be able to fly a perfectly square pattern without looking out the sides of the airplane. Meaning, you can't turn and you look back towards the airplane, you can't turn and look over there, you can only stay straight ahead. We aren't landing on aircraft carriers. Unless you are, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you aren't landing on the aircraft carrier, your runway will not move. Which means, if your runway doesn't move, that means that it's going to be in the exact same spot. So if it's going to be in the exact same spot, you need to be able to use your situational awareness so that you can know exactly where it is without ever turning your head. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you need to build your peripheral vision through the corners of the cockpit and be able to memorize kind of where everything is. This will also helping you. This will also help you build situational awareness with traffic and giving you mental pictures of where everything is at. So who has been in a situation where they're flying the yoke, they're flying their airplane, and you go to turn to look out the airplane, right? You go to turn, but your yoke goes like this, and you start pulling. And if you start pulling, what happens to your nose? Your nose starts pitching up, which means you're going to be closer to stall, and in a terrain scenario or a canyon scenario or really anywhere, base to final scenario, that is a really bad situation to be. Pitches for airspeed, powers for altitude, right? So if you're turning and pulling, trying to yank back the controls, then your pitch is going to be slowing down, getting you closer and closer to stall.
Ground, good morning, Skyline 7557 Sierra. Minuteman, ready for taxi with Echo, or just remaining in the pattern.
7557 Sierra, Missoula, ground, runway 30, taxi via Golf Alpha, cross runway 26.
Alright, 30, via Golf Alpha and cross 26. Was that the Alpha 3 or just all the way to the end?
Alpha 3.
Okay, Alpha 3, so Alpha 3 and Golf Alpha cross 26, the 570.
Traffic runway 30, taxi Alpha 3, clear for takeoff. Winds 110 at 6.
Okay, copy winds 30 at Alpha 3, clear for takeoff, light close traffic 570.
Alright, lights. All lights on, clear for takeoff. We are landing light on camera. We are squawking. And action, final, and everything's clear. I don't hear nobody. I don't see nobody. Here we go. On center line, advance that propeller. All the way nice and smooth. Power is set. Call your instruments, good in the green. Airspeed is alive. Eyes outside, staring at the end, all the way at the end. There we go, coming up, rotate, positive rate. We're going to trim it out just a little bit because this thing likes to have a lot of pressure. Make that right turn.
557 Sierra, runway 30, clear for the option.
Alright, lights on.
Clear for the option 57030.
Okay, lights are on. Lights, camera, action, gumps, right? Because she already cleared us. But I'm going to bring that power back now nice and gently to 15 inches. That's my performance in the power, in the pattern. Right? And the reason why I do a 15 inches of manifold in the pattern is it nice and slow. We don't need to be booking it, right? Bring that prop back a little bit. Now, keep it nice and square. So this first time, what we're going to do is actually look. So the runway is right there, right? We're going to make that nice turn, keep that quarter mile away or so. We don't need to do our cow flaps because we're already clear to land, so we're going to do, I do GM double CP. It's a little much, but gumps, you can do gumps as well, whatever checklist you want to do. So gas is on both, cow flaps are open. Make sure we're going to keep here because of the high performance day. Actually, we'll enrich it a little bit more. Now we can go prop full-ish, nice and gentle. Bring that power back a little bit. Now we're keeping it square, and again, we're looking at our runway. So our runway is right here, and now we're nice and parallel, right? So I'm going to keep that nice and parallel approach. On this first one, we're going to be looking, and then on the second one, we're going to keep it straight. Okay, so I'm looking at my runway, looking at situational awareness here. Now I'm building that training technique, right? I'm imagining where it is. Now in the moment, what I'm doing is staring straight ahead. What does the terrain off my left looks like? What does the terrain off my right looks like? And more importantly, look straight ahead, right? What does those mountains look like? I'm going to use these mountains. We have a L and an M L's on the left and M's on the right, I'm going to put my nose right in between. That keeps a really standard pattern here. Now, we're coming up on a beam or point, right? So once we're beam or point, what we want to do is set up to landing, right? So then you can really do your gums for sure, right? So let's do it again. Gas is on, cow, mixture. We're going to keep the prop as it is as we bring power out for now.
Missoula Tower, scaling now 5,
below the green.
30, Alpha 3, ready for takeoff.
RP, and what I do is I do 12 inches, power, prop. We're already below 140, 10 degrees of flaps.
Runway 3055, T3 Tango.
And now let's look. Runway's right back there. I'm going to make my left hand, or right hand turn, sorry. And look at this. Eyes and hands off. The airplane likes to fly itself, which means you don't have to have a lot of pressure. Airplanes love to fly. Let airplanes fly. That's what I always say. Pitch is for airspeed, power is for altitude. So now, let's look. So, very important. Most students, what they do is they lean and they look. And when you do that, you lean and you look and watch my nose. Right? For dramatic sake, you bring your nose up, which means you get closer to the stall, which is not good. So, in the base, in a standard pattern, I do 20 degrees of flaps. Below wide arc, power for altitude, pitch for airspeed. I'm not touching, I'm not over controlling. The airplane likes to fly. I haven't touched the trim at all. And since I haven't touched the trim at all, what that does is it sets a perfect pitch attitude for where I need it to be. That's the important thing. Pitch is for airspeed, power for altitude. You're holding your approach speed. Now, coming up on level here. Again, if I was trying to lean in that base to final turn, the coughing corner, I potentially would yank and pull, which is not good. Not good. You want to get that habit out of your head if that is your habit. Power for altitude, pitch for airspeed. One thing you want to watch for is the end of the runway. If the end of the runway starts climbing up the cowling, then you're getting too low. If it starts going below the cowling or the windshield, you're getting too high. So power for altitude, pitch for airspeed. Keeping that pitch the same. Let the airplane fly, right? Now, as we made that runway, you start bringing that power out in transition in a pre-flare, it's called. Right? Get into that ground effect and hold the plane off. Stare at the end. I say eyes up, nose up. Eyes up, nose up. So you just let the plane fly and you just hold it off the ground till it comes down. Then it no longer has more energy. Right? Now, as we bring this nose down, I'm going to start braking. I like to do a stop and go in this thing. My personal preference, you can do touch and goes, you just got to be very aware of where your hands are going. Let's come to a complete stop. Okay, flaps to 10, mixture's full, props full, carb cold, landing light on, cow flaps open. That is reset. Okay, we are clear for the option, we're ready to go. Gentle, nice, and bring that power back full. Let it roll, and accelerate. Keep that rudder on the center line. Power is everything good. Airspeed's alive. Let that nose come off the ground. This thing likes to climb. And I'm going to bring out a little bit of that trim pressure, not too much. Okay, so this one we're going to use our situational awareness. I know I'm climbing really hard. Then I'm coming up on my pattern altitude. I'm not going to look outside. I'm going to keep my head straight, and let's see how I can do that. This thing is climbing like a rocket ship today. This is fantastic. Okay, we're coming up on our altitude. Bringing that power back to 24 and 23. There's my altitude, leveling the nose. Now, I know I'm climbing really aggressively. So as I'm doing that, pitch down, pitch, power, and trim. As I'm bringing that nose down, I'm bringing the power back. There we go. I'm not changing my head, I'm just flying the airplane, and I know I'm far enough away, so I'm going to turn my airplane. Situationally, again, I'm not going to turn my head. The only thing I can do is move my eyes, whatever my eyes can do. That's all I can do.
Runway 30, clear for the option.
Switcher, clear for the option, 570, this will be a full stop.
Okay. Okay. One other trick that you can do for this, to try to figure out if you're 90 degrees or not, is look at your heading. You can know where your 90-degree points are based on your runway headings, right? That's key. Okay? I know how far away I am. I'm going to make my turn. I'm not turning my head. That is the most important thing. Bring that prop back. We are clear to land, so landing light comes on. It is on. We can do our gumps once we set up. I'm not turning my head. I'm not going to even look at the runway. I'm looking at my heading bug.
With hours,
right? There's one too, but I'm looking at
the Tango.
my altitude. I'm looking at my outside attitude. Remember how I said L and M? There's those two L's and M's on the runway or on the mountains out there. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that and keep my nose pointed towards that. Again, I know the runway's over here. It hasn't moved. The runway is somewhere over here. I'm not looking. Right? I'm looking straight ahead.
Zero Tower, Skyline 5523 Tango. Can you give me Salt Lake Center?
You want Salt Lake or you want Spokane? Spokane's the first one you're going to enter.
Sure, I'll take Spokane, thanks. 2 Tango.
124.9er for Spokane.
All right, 124.9, thanks.
Okay, again, I'm not looking anywhere. I'm setting up my gumps, okay? So that's set, Cal swept, mixture full rich, prop is going to be set for now. We're just going to keep that full rich for now.
759 Delta Golf, Missoula Tower.
I'm sorry, not full rich, full forward. Car P is good. We're still in the green. We are clear to land.
Delta Golf, Lolo, inbound.
Okay, again, I'm staring straight ahead. I can only be here and here.
Suggestion maneuver to the west side of the valley. Enter a midfield, left downwind, runway 30.
Midfield, left downwind for 30, west side of the valley, 759 Delta Golf.
Okay, so now here comes the tricky part. I'm clear to land. I'm roughly midfield, I think, but I'm clear to land. Okay, so I'm already clear to land, so landing light's on, which means all I'm doing is setting up where my beam is, where I believe the situational awareness is. Now, again, this comes with skill, with the amount of time that you put in at the airport, but the logic is still the same. I know that it's roughly right there off my right, so I'm going to go ahead and start setting up. I can look at my power. Power comes down to 12 inches, RP hot. And I'm going to give it a little bit of trim because last time it fell on me and I immediately put in flaps. Eyes are outside, straight ahead. I don't care what's happening to my right. I know the airport's that way somewhere, right? And I know that I need to turn within probably the next 20 seconds or so. It's for altitude, it's just for airspeed. Okay. I think that's probably good. I'm going to make my turn. Right turn, clear to land, and prop comes full. Again, I'm not looking outside. Out to my rights and lefts. I'm staring straight ahead. I'm using my situational awareness, knowing that the airport hasn't moved. It's somewhere off my right side. I can only look here, though. And for those of you wondering, my camera is attached to my hat, which means wherever I look, it looks too. Now, again, I'm tempted to look over there. Light on the controls, that's super important. Finger pressure, right? In my base, I set up 20 degrees of flaps. Let it balloon a little bit. I fight that. I'm going to bring that trim down just a little bit. And I'm going to start my turn. Because I feel like it's roughly right about here. Now, let's see this. Let's watch what happens. As we approach, we're going to look at my eyes. Look at that. I have the runway right there. I might overshoot. I might not. But I just keep a nice standard rate turn going across. So look at that. I'm pretty damn close. I'm slightly off. Do I yank? No. What I do is I gently get back on center line. I have plenty of time. Pitch is for airspeed. Power for altitude. I'm slightly high, so I'm going to bring some power out. And I get back on center line. That's all you need to do. Now I'm landing the plane.
Runway 30.
Okay, I'm in that pre-flare
stage. Plane, sorry, student pilot, clear direct the numbers.
Leveling off here, leveling off, and holding it off the ground. Eyes up, nose up.
Runway 30.
There it is, right there.
Number 1, runway 30, 629er Alpha Tango.
Sweet!
Parking via Golf, monitor ground.
Parking via Golf, monitor ground, 570.
Start applying that brakes. Follow the exit line. And she said, taxi to Golf via Golf, monitor ground. So once we get clear of the hold shorts here. Okay guys, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this lesson. I'm really passionate about this stuff. It's really cool to build your situational awareness up. Something that's really cool. It's a really cool training technique for instructors and pilots. If you want to go and build your situational awareness, it's a fantastic training tool. Anyway, if you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more. And I'll see you guys in the next one.